Don in London, hello. Well, July 20th, and interesting times in politics, the media, financial institutions, and whatever. But has that got anything to do with my videos? Well, maybe in a way it has. At least I've got some interests back in my life. My video is all about recovery from addiction to either substance or behaviour. My addictive substance, alcohol. My behaviour could be equally addictive around people, places and things. Right drink, right people, right places, right things, right belonging, I guess. Feeling like I belonged to whatever was going on. Back in the day when I drank a lot. And why did I drink a lot? Well, I was taught how to be the last man standing, how to hold my liquor, how to make it, as well as drink it. So a good background, if you like, and quite practiced in the art of drinking a lot and still being able to stand up at the end of the party. But in the end, drink stopped fixing me. It stopped fixing the feelings, stopped fixing the belonging or inclusion. It left me isolated, unable to cope, and on the outside of society. So these days, one day at a time, I've found a way to be part of life. And how did that happen? Well, friends, family, community, professionals, indeed any source in the end, I asked for help. And along the way, other people knew of the existence of a fellowship, and the medical people said, this fellowship will help you keep sober one day at a time. So I had to listen in the end to what they said and stop refusing to find out how to be sober rather than try and do it on my own. I've been taught to stand on my own 2 feet and be brave about life, but I'd lost it. And sometimes when we lose it, it's better to find out how to be included again with the help of people who know. So this fellowship turned out to be Alcoholics Anonymous, the very last place any heavy drinker who does not want to give up will go to, because why should they? It will take away their best friend, their best prop, their best way of dealing with life, which is to take the edge off. So these days I prefer not to drink one day at a time, be a part of fellowship and be a part of society. And the Alcoholics Anonymous Fellowship, I don't speak for it, never can, never will, full of unique, authentic people who speak about their recovery where they will, and their experience, strength and hope. So I do believe anonymity is sacrosanct, to find the truth of who we are. In the fellowship, what you see is what you get. People in recovery, making progress and not perfect. Indeed, that's part of it. We just simply make progress. It's about humility to keep on learning. And that's what I've learned. I was going to say an awful lot more about something else, but I think I'll stop for a moment. What is AA and how does it help me? Well, although I don't speak for it, I share a lot about it. And this little card here gives me the AA preamble, what AA is, what it can and cannot do, what it's there to do to help us who need recovery. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. That's it. No rules, no laws, no regulations. A desire to stop drinking is all there is. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. And many of us who go to the fellowship when we first start have nothing, absolutely nothing. So there is no need to pay anything for recovery, ever. But if we do make a bit of money, or can just keep our head above water financially, we do try and contribute to the rent of the rooms and to anything else which is immediately needed. AA is a non-profit organisation. It doesn't make profits. It ploughs everything back into dealing with recovery just for today. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution, does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. But although AA doesn't have any affiliation to anything, everybody in the fellowship is affiliated to something. Friends, family, community, business, politics, you name it. Everybody's got some sort of affiliation to something. But the fellowship itself is simply about sobriety. So everyone with all their different backgrounds keep all their different backgrounds, remain unique and authentic on their path. And we learn from each other. We don't use each other, we learn from each other. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. So we try and help as best we can. And there's a phrase, I'm responsible when anyone, anywhere reaches out for help. I want the hand of AA always to be there, and for that I'm responsible. So if we don't know how to connect with people, and we've lost it big time, going to meetings of the fellowship will open our eyes to other people who may be quite similar to us, and also a lot of people who are quite different to us. And we're all making progress. Some just at the starting point, some many years into sobriety. But where we find we have similarities, we listen to what is said and develop our own way forward, unique and authentic in that respect. It doesn't mean we're going to be special and different, because we all thought that, probably. We are special and different, and why can't I stop this? Or I am special and different, and why can't I stop drinking? No matter what I do in terms of willpower, I still can't get on with sobriety. So we learn who is good for us from the many voices in the fellowship. It's the many voices, and we don't rely for support from one person in the fellowship, or we are likely to bring them down to where we are in terms of our madness when we first get in. So no single human being is going to be the answer, as we aren't the answer in ourselves. So we can't do it on our own, they can't do it on their own. So we rely and support each other in sobriety. What you see is what you get. It's attraction to sobriety and not promotion, because promotion suggests you can be fixed, and there's no fixing in fellowship. There is simply living to good principles and trying to make life good as best we can. That's how it works for me, and I think that's how I feel that's how it works for a lot of people. So no one's in charge. We work out what we need to do to keep the fellowship intact at group level, that's at the meeting level, and then try and make sure that is robust across all of the fellowship. An organisation without leaders, simply trusted servants working on behalf of us, the people in the fellowship. Yippee! And that's good, because it means nobody's going to take control or tell you what to do. And if they are telling you what to do, maybe it's time to find somebody else to talk to. It's not the way in the fellowship. But we are human, and sometimes we think we have the right idea. So I always say, it's not my voice which is important, I'm just leading the way into what might be possible. It's the many voices in recovery which keep me sober and learning how to live my life, and the same applies. So this is for information of what's helping me in my recovery. And I share the daily reflections from the AA literature as best I can, and then my own reflections based on what is going on for me today and in past years as well. July is all about the 7th step for me, and it is in the AA daily reflection book, and that one is about humility, to work on my shortcomings. In my case, not enough faith, courage and confidence to keep on going. That's what I was short on in my final drinking days. I had no faith, no courage, no confidence about living anymore. Indeed, I would have preferred not to wake up most times from the oblivion I sought, which is tragic, to be a complete wreck as a human being and unable to cope because of addiction to alcohol. In my case, could be anything. So AA Daily Reflections, it is based on the 7 steps, which is about learning to be humble. What was it Rupert Murdoch said yesterday? This is the most humble day of my life. No, it wasn't. He was just sorry to be caught out. in charge, but not responsible in his case, he said. But something we say in recovery is I'm responsible. I'll come on to that in a minute. The AA Daily Reflections for today, shortcomings removed, for July 20th. But now the words, of myself I am nothing, the Father doeth the works, began to carry bright promise and meaning, and that comes from the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions book. When I put the 7th step into action, I must remember there are no blanks to fill in. It doesn't say humbly asked him to remove whatever shortcomings I think I might have. And that was one of the things I had to learn. For years I filled in the imaginary blank with help me, give me the courage to, give me the strength to, etc. The steps say simply that God will remove my shortcomings. The only footwork I must do is humbly ask, which for me means asking with the knowledge that I of myself am nothing, the Father within doeth the works. I thank my higher power for letting me know that he works through people, and I thank him for our trusted servants in the fellowship, who aid new members to reject their false ideals and to adopt those which lead to a life of compassion and trust. The elders in AA challenge the newcomers to come to, so they can come to believe. I ask my higher power to help my unbelief. Now, when I look at that, as a person who has difficulty with believing, not believing, or just not sure, an atheist, agnostic or believer, depending on what my life experience has been. When it says, give me the courage to, or I would say, give me courage, give me strength. There are no blanks like that in. Humbly asked him to remove our shortcomings. The him working through people. It works for me, because I get wisdom from other people where I don't have the wisdom. I get faith, courage and confidence to keep on going from the many who share how it works for them, their experience, strength and hope. So when it comes to removal of shortcomings, and I do know mine revolve around courage, faith and confidence in living life often, just not having the courage, faith and confidence to keep on going. I get courage, faith and confidence from those around me. So if God works through people, all well and good. And because the fellowship is about unity, service and recovery, and learning how to be open, honest and willing to live life, open, honest and willing to live life, those words of, where are they? Trust. Yes. There's another word there. I thank him for our trusted servants in the fellowship, who aid new members to reject their false ideals and to adopt those which lead to a life of compassion, that was the word I was looking for, compassion and trust. That is, unity in helping in an open, honest way, service to others, and in so doing, learning how to be ourselves, to be unique and authentic individuals on our life journey. So I've stopped pondering on the idea of should I believe or not believe. That's not the issue. It's about working to the good of what is, and not in self-interest or self-motivated accrual of large amounts of wealth in whatever terms I think they may be. So it's living in the day and living reality in an open, honest way, and a trusting way with those people who develop trust with us. And of course that's not true of everybody around us. Self-interest is still there, and with the Murdoch situation as it is now, I was thinking this morning, people in high office, commerce, judiciary, politics and media are highly intelligent. Don't underestimate them. They are paid highly and driven to succeed at all costs. When they say they see no evil, hear no evil, and cannot remember any evil, most likely self-preservation and self-interest make them appear stupid. They are not stupid. That is what they want you to see. And on people in high office, I've adapted something from our fellowship, which is, I am responsible when anyone anywhere reaches out for help. I want the hand of AA always to be there, and for that I am responsible. something which I feel strongly is, this is what people in high office often do. I am responsible when anyone anywhere reaches out for truth. I want the hand of my legal advisor always to be there, and for that I am responsible. Which means they are not going to tell you what they really, really know, or believe, or their version of the truth. They're going to give you a legal answer which doesn't incriminate them in any way. And that's nothing to do with fellowship, but that, you see, it's on my mind today, so I'm sharing about it. And when I watched the parliamentary committees in the Houses of Parliament in the UK, in London, talking to the Murdoch people, and also Rebecca Brooks, who was one of their hench persons, if you like, running part of the business, this idea that Mr. Murdoch said, I am not responsible for the responsible people in my organisation, is a misunderstanding about corporate governance. Ignorance, if it were so, is not bliss in the eyes of the law. But in the eyes of the law, in our country at the moment, there are big problems, because it all got too cosy with the politicians, with the police, with the media, and something which was not reported widely yesterday, the payout of £14 billion to bankers in bonuses at the taxpayers' expense for the last 3 to 30 years, because we have never let a bank go down. In essence, we have never let them go down completely, but we're quite happy to see countries go to the wall. What does that say about our economic system? A lot about the way the banking industry thinks with its ego, thinks with its own personal self-interest, thinks not for the shareholders unless they have become shareholders, and thinks about the bonus they are absolutely entitled to under the legal conditions which exist today. I am still alert to what is going on in the world, but that's just my view, and it won't go anywhere, and it won't do any good. But that's not my issue today. My issue today is to be sober, and although I can access a degree of anger, frustration and fed-upness at the state of play with how the world is working at the moment, I need not drink on it anymore. So these are the steps in action. I am befuddled and cross about very many things, and the injustice and the way people are treated in our society. That's in the UK. Not because I'm in charge, or because I feel... How do I feel about it? I feel powerless in a way which has nothing to do with my illness, but everything to do with the way it's set up. And I can see it more clearly now. But you know what? In the past I followed the dream that everybody follows. The trouble is, the dream can only be realised for very few people, and those few people will hang on to it like grim death and not share it out. They won't share it out, and they won't improve the way it is until they really, really have to, or go to prison. And it was like that when I was in industry too. Plausible deniability. How dreadful is that? Anyway, that was an old life, and also new things for me to ponder on. But in my own way, what's important to me, these are my thoughts of the day for me. Open, honest and willing to put in the footwork, to be in recovery and to share and to look to help people. Survival in recovery is about learning how to live to good conscience and the common good. Principles of unity, service and recovery in fellowship, and in practice steer us to more fulfilling ways of living. Progress, not perfection. So I don't reject the need for the economy to work. I don't live in a place of the land of cuckoos, or cloud cuckoo land. I live in reality, and reality is harsh. You know, my disposable income is minimal, needs met, wants forgotten, because I'm not trying to be that person I thought I ought to be, the person who wanted to fit in and demonstrate their value and their worth by their career. and hopefully by the family they would have. In the end, I only had career left, and when that failed, because I couldn't follow the corrupt practices of the day, that's where I fell down. And thank goodness I did, because I'm a better person for it. But you know, another reporter, no, I wasn't a reporter, but another person who was a reporter fell into drink and drugs and died recently. It was one of the whistleblowers and all the things that are going on now, and he obviously found no peace of mind in telling the truth, because he couldn't let go of a load of other stuff. And that's the way it works. We have to stop trying to be right, but look to what is good. No, it's not. We don't have to stop looking at what is right. It's trying to maintain something which is impossible, an outlook which will undermine recovery. And mine would have been undermined completely if I tried to go with it. Yes. No one's going to put on your gravestone, he was a good person who worked hard. At what? If you're an alcoholic who dies that way. Often no one knows. Anyway, who cares about that? I don't care about that. I don't want to... Anyway, yes, stop there. Other years. Room for growth. As we put down extremes of using substance and behaviour to feel life, we need to deal with an emptiness which gnaws us deep. Lost and lonely, old habits can haunt and taunt us. With daily courage, faith and confidence, we can pause, consider and take time, not to fill the emptiness. We have room to live life as it may be today. So all that other harsh, old, how we used to behave, can go. And then we have room to manoeuvre and develop new ways of living. So we know what our feelings are, we know what we're doing, and we know how to be a part of, in whatever way we can, from sweeping a floor, or whatever it might be, to being the top-notch person in the boardroom, hopefully in a company which has a few morals and understandings about corporate governance these days. So, another year, improving our courage, faith and confidence. This is all about step 7. Doing something about our shortcomings, improving where we need to feel life properly, learn what truth is, how to love people, be loved back, and keep on learning the wisdom of that. That's how I feel it goes. Yes, improving our courage, faith and confidence. Yes to the next drink, the next excess, the next project, work and relationships, being liked and loved, a hero. All those things can drive us back to the next drink. As Gandhi suggested, an emphatic no is better than a half-hearted yes. Say yes to what is good for us, and feel right rejecting what is not. Just for today, to thine own self be true. And to thine own self be true just means be true to your principles of open, honest, willing, truthful, learning how to love and be loved back, and keep on learning the wisdom of that. We are not going to become overnight successes in sobriety, or are we? Another day sober, or some people say another day above ground, is a success if we haven't had a drink, and we're trying to improve our situation and to live to good conscience. So step 7 about removal of shortcomings, or developing new and better ways of living, attitudes and behaviour, is not easy in a very difficult world. Life is difficult. Survival is hard work, one day at a time. So to thine own self be true, indeed, is right, because then you can be right with the rest of the world, rather than covering up, denying, and having a legal advisor on your shoulder saying, oh no, you can't say that. You have to plead the 5th, or you have to plead, buy me a 5th, and it will all go away in oblivion. But anyway, enough of my slightly political video for the day. I have no axe to grind with any of these people in my own personal life. I've probably had an axe to grind with a lot of other people in a past life about what happened, but I don't care anymore. I've forgiven me for being there, and I've pretty much forgiven them because they were doing the best they could with what they had. And that's what we need to remind ourselves about today with the political situation. They are doing the best they can with what they had. What follows on from here today is what's important, how they conduct themselves and how they make sure that corporate governance and compliance is done, because all the rules are there to be used and are in place. We don't need much more regulation. We just need to get people operating as they may, to the code of conduct they have signed up for. And notwithstanding that, the person who wrote the corporate governance booklet in the media empire of News Corp is also responsible for how they behave and their attitudes and behaviour. They wrote it, they ought to stand by it and be judged on the merits of what they do. I don't know the answer, because I don't need to. I just need to get on with the next few hours of being sober. But I can have an open mind about it and an opinion about it. Anyway, what helps me when I know there's things I can and cannot do and learn the wisdom to know the difference is the serenity prayer, which is to God, good conscience, or whatever it is that you feel is right for you. And it works because it sets out the boundaries of whatever it is, can do, can't do, wisdom to learn the difference. So that prayer works, and goodness me, yeah, I'm glad it saves my life, as does everybody in fellowship on a daily basis, whether I agree with them or not. That's not the point. Sober first, the rest of life can happen, and we make our choices as we can. So to God, or in good conscience, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot do, I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Always for me in the moment and just for today.